Friends, welcome to a very special episode of Auto Afflicted. I'm your host, Goulet PI, and this is a 1985 Ferrari 308 GTS. Yes, it's the Magnum car, and my mustache is here to play. We're gonna take a look at this. I'm gonna tell you all the cool things about the 308. I'm gonna bring in my buddy Brendan, who's the owner of this car. He's gonna tell you his amazing story of how the average guy gets a Ferrari like this, and we're gonna get into it right now. Right, so Ferrari 308 GTS. The GTS is for Gran Turismo Spider. Spider, I know, is like kind of a weird phrase. It's just, it's an Italian sports car thing. Basically, when your top comes off, you're a spider. I guess that's kind of how it goes. The GTB for Bernaletta is the hardtop version. As far as the power plant goes on the Ferrari 308, mid-engine, it's a V8. It does actually have two coils, two distributors. Is that right, Brendan? Yep. Two distributors and two ECUs. So it's essentially two inline fours running at the same time, which is wild. And it really doesn't sound like any V8 you've ever heard before. So very unique sound. The thing about this car is that you don't buy it for the horsepower, right? It's in the range of 240 to 250 horsepower, depending on if you've got American or Euro versions. This is the Euro version, so we're a bit closer to 250 here. 240, mid-engine mounted, V8, 2.9 liter, so almost a 3 liter for the 308 designation. It is a tubular frame chassis with the body on top. The early versions, which are the big money versions, are actually fiberglass bodies, and then in the second gens, I guess, after the first 2 years, they did go to steel body. The Ferrari has some unique things. For some reason, they really hid the door handles. So door handle here on the outside blends right in. Beautiful design. And then on the inside, actually, on the inside of the door, under the armrest is where the exit latch is hidden. Cool, svelte design. I love the integrated door handles, all sleek. And then the other really tricky thing is the fuel filler is actually back here in these rear louvers. On both sides, they're keyed. And when you open this up, it does reveal the gas filler. And one of my favorite features is the fold-out flap that keeps the gas from dripping on the body. Really nice touch. This car speaks back to my childhood. Being 48, in Matchbox cars, you basically had the Countach, you had the 308, and maybe you had like a Stingray. The Ferrari 308 is just such an iconic car, and obviously most of us fell in love with it through seeing it on TV. It was on Magnum PI. It was Christy Brinkley's car in National Lampoon's Vacation. And also, you may remember it from Cannonball Run. Sammy Davis Jr. and his co-star were priests. The other great thing about this car is the story. So Brendan here, I found him on social media as the average guy Ferrari, right? And the story is very much of the average guy getting a Ferrari. And to me, that's what it's all about. Like, it's great if you have money and you can just throw down and you just buy the nicest thing out there. That's amazing. But for those of us that are dreamers that maybe don't have the funds, there's still hope and there's still ways. And so Brendan's going to take us for a drive around. He's going to tell us his story, and we're going to soak up all of this great Ferrari 308.
All my life I've been obsessed with Ferraris. Everything up to the late 1990s, I never thought I would have one, but over the course of my life, I just watched every video, read every article I could, and learned as much about them as possible. And I just started kind of getting creative with side hustles, and started making some extra money, saving the money. Vintage arcade machines and vintage pinball machines. I did it for about 3.5 years. I would refurbish them and make them like, pretty much new again. And I would sell them, at a markup, and that's how I bought this car. That's how I did it. I decided to post an ad on an online classifieds page I was looking for a project Ferrari. I think it was about 2.5 years I had the ad up, and this guy sent me a text message saying he had a 308 down outside of St. George, Utah, and a good friend of mine and we just drove down, picked it up, and brought it back. The car had been sitting for I think it had been sitting for 15 to 20 years. And we basically just got it out, we pushed it onto his trailer, hauled it back, and I spent the next 3 months just fixing it up and kind of documented the process on Instagram. I never thought in a million years I'd actually own and be able to drive a Ferrari whenever I wanted. It just kind of blows me away. Just a very average guy. Very average guy, very humble beginnings. Nothing, I wasn't given anything, had to work for everything, and I'm still in shock, and it's been 4 months. So go out to the garage and just stare at it and think of, everything I had to do, all the work I had to do, and just all the dreaming throughout my life, and it just finally happened one day. It just blows me away.
Wow, this guy can ramble. It's hard to pay attention to what he's talking about with the song of this Ferrari V8 serenading my ears, and the bolt action of the gated shifter notching into the gears just like an old-timey rifle, and the appeal of the prancing horses and the pop-up headlights. These vibes are so tangible. This is like what dreams are made of. And just riding around in this thing is like a daily reminder of the joys and passion that life has to offer. I wonder what the markup on a well-refurbed pinball machine is. So there you go, friends. Nice whip around in this Ferrari 308 GTS. Special thanks to Brendan for bringing it out and telling us his story. Really appreciate it. The story is amazing. I think it's like a life lesson, and as like a guy who loves a bargain, and I consider myself a pretty average guy as well, the story just resonates with me. And if you can dream it and you desire it and you continue to focus on that dream, almost anything is possible. And there's going to be sacrifice along the way, but the reward might be a pretty badass Ferrari. So as ever, thank you guys for checking it out. If you liked the video or you didn't like the video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up on it. Hit me with a subscription. That would be great for me. You can check out Brendan on Average Guy Ferrari, average_guy_Ferrari, not Guy Fieri. And that's on Instagram. And otherwise, be well. Love the ones you're with. Remember, just because someone's got a vehicle that you don't like the way they built it, that doesn't mean they're wrong. It's all passion out there, and we're all here for the love of cars. So until the next episode, friends, be well.